The Shadows of Cattalus is the name given to the twin Necromunda bounty hunters Arbalester Cattalus and Aramis Cattalus. The two were formerly nobles of House Cattalus until its last schism saw the two siblings on opposing sides of the conflict. Aramis found himself opposing his parents, who then sent his sister Arbalester to kill him. Arbalester, however, refused to do so, and the twins were then branded transgratia de sanguine, traitors of the blood. Any assassin that attempted to take the siblings' lives, though, ended their days on Aramister's blades or as another notch on Arbalester's gunstock. Later, in mockery of their estranged parents, the pair donned Cattalus Carnival mirror masks depicting the faces of their father and mother. Eventually, however, after much bloodshed, the division within House Cattalus was healed and the siblings no longer had the chaos of open conflict to hide them. This led the twins to be hounded out of the house's spire, but they used their murderous talents to escape into Hive Primus's Underhive. The twins have since thrived in that lawless wildland and quickly earned a reputation as effective and pitiless bounty hunters. Aramister's skills as a duelist and Arbalester's talents as a sniper, honed picking off Hive repair crews from her spire balcony, allowed them to command a high price for their services, while their spire tech gave them an edge over their foes. Their masterwork weapons, along with the masks they still wore, turned them into apex predators of the Underhive's bad zones, who people started calling the Shadows of Cattalus. As Aramister appeared like a phantom from the darkness to challenge enemies with his blades, while Arbalester remained hidden with her gun, making sure her brother's opponents never get too close to laying harm upon him. Howdy folks, and welcome back to Wellywood Wargaming. My name is Damon, and this is the huge series where I give you bite-sized videos on every single Dramatis Personae and hired gun in the game of Necromunda. Before I get started though, please do like, share, subscribe, check out the Patreon, or hit the super thanks button as well to support me directly. I have got COVID at the moment, so apologies for the quality of my voice and the look of my appearance and whatnot. I feel like shit, but I've still got to get these videos done. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm doing it because I want to do it, so it's all good. Anyway, this one is a really exciting one, and I've been wanting to do this one for ages, so I couldn't really hold off. We have the Shadows of Cattalus, also known as the Cattalus Twins. I have made my own models of these. I haven't quite finished them or painted them up yet, but I'll put them in this video now so you can have a little butchers. They were Warhammer Fantasy Vampire special characters, I believe, of some kind, with some Harlequin heads and some minor adjustments on the weapons and whatnot, some hand snips, some Gene Stealer Cult parts, I think, and some other stuff. But looking forward to painting these guys up, but they are way bigger than all of my other Necromunda models, so I'm not sure how I'm going to make a gang fit around them in terms of the size. However, I have actually used them in a practice game the other day as the leader and champion in an outcast gang. Now, it's a bit ambiguous whether you can actually do that. Of course, you could use one of them, but probably not both of them. But my opponent was fine with it. I used Arbalester as the leader and Aramister as the champion. It was absolutely fine. It certainly wasn't broken in any way. I forgot about some of their special rules, but they were really interesting. In terms of the lore around these guys, I think it's really fantastic. I love House Cattalus. It's my favorite of the noble houses, of course. I find it the most interesting and alluring, the killer, insane clown posse that they all are. And I have used an outcast gang with the actual Cattalus delegation as well, with the Mind Frayed and the Masked Killer. Very cool indeed. These guys are super cool too. And like I said, no official models yet, unfortunately, but you could easily kit bash your own from Eldar Harlequin bits and stuff like I have already there as well. So 250 credits each, these guys. So if you're going to get both of them, that is 500 credits. However, they're very good indeed. We're going to look at them separately though, because, well, you have to really, because they're both very different. As you could tell from the lore there, one is a duelist with all close combat, and one is a sniper with all shooting. So, let's first look at Arbalester. Arbalester is the shooter, she is the sniper, and arguably, I would say, one of, if not the best sniper in the game, excluding maybe Yar Umbra. Now, there are a lot of pros and cons with her as well, but I'm going to highlight exactly what she does now, though. Let's just have a look at the stats real quickly here. Like I said, she is a shooter. So she has movement 5, weapon skill 6+. She's not very good in close combat at all. However, at shooting, she's ballistic skill 2+. So she's like a super Van Sar in a lot of ways. She's strength and toughness 3, 2 wounds, initiative 3 up, and 1 attack. In terms of the mental stats here, we've got a leadership 7+, cool 7+, willpower 6+, intelligence 6+. She comes baked in with 3 skills, and they're all excellent. We have Infiltrate, which is disgusting on a sniper, of course. Precision Shot, meaning that if you hit on 6s, no saves can be made. And Trick Shot, which reduces hard cover to soft cover to nil. Fantastic when you combine it with your ballistic skill 2 up with Infiltrate. You have a Needle Long Rifle, which is a needle rifle variant of a long rifle. We'll get into that in a second, and a needle pistol as well. To add to that, we have a Chem Synth, Mesh Armor, Photo Goggles, Respirator, Infrasight on the needle long rifle. So all the gear there, very, very scary indeed. However, there are some problems with this, and I'm going to go into that in a second. But before, well, let's just have a look at the special rules that comes with her. The first special rule that you get with her is Unique Partnership Arbalester. You can be hired alongside the other bounty hunter, allowing the gang to field 2 bounty hunters instead of 1. This is also where I would say if you're an arbitrator and someone wants to run these guys in an outcast gang, I don't see it being a problem, 1 being the leader, 1 being a champion. Absolutely fine. I did it. I didn't feel like it was in any way broken. Sure, they're very powerful, but they're also 500 credits. That's half of your gang value there. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of where I should be. We have a special rule for Arbalester called Slotted. If Aramister is hit and wounded by an enemy fight basic action, make a single shoot basic action against the fighter if all conditions are true. Arbalester is not prone, and the target is in Arbalester's line of sight. This is not affected by ready markers. So you don't have to have a ready marker. If he's hit and wounded in close combat, which is rare because he's a beast in close combat, you get a free shot off. Fantastic. Now let's look at the sort of weapons and how effective she is as a sniper. The needle long rifle, I believe, has a 48-inch long range, just like a long rifle. Instead of having a solid shot, though, it's got a -2 toxin attack. Now, you combine that with your intelligence of a 6+ and a Chem Synth, you're nearly always adding +1 to that toughness check, which means that you're technically wounding most toughness 3 targets on 2s. You're hitting them on 2s nearly all the time, especially when you've got Trick Shot and your Infrasight and your Photo Goggles and stuff. So basically, you're going to set up with her Infiltrate to a sniping position on the board where you can see lots of stuff, and you are going to take out your enemy leader in first turn. Now, what happened for me when I used these guys as an outcast gang is I did just that. I infiltrated into a good position. I got priority in first turn. I took a shot at an enemy Orlock leader with 3 wounds and a heavy bolter or something. I hit him. I wounded him with my Chem Synth. I only flesh wounded him though, which was really kind of a downer, but I was like, okay, that's okay, I suppose, next turn. However, I'd rolled the ammo dice. Now, rolling the ammo dice on your, average long rifle is not so much of a problem because you can reload that. However, this needle long rifle is scarce, and I was out of ammo for the entire game after just taking a flesh wound off an enemy leader. So all of a sudden, my expensive 250 credit sniper was completely useless, and all she had was a needle pistol. So I had to basically run into the game and try and use a needle pistol. It wasn't great. So that can happen. On paper, she's really, really powerful, and the damage potential for that needle long rifle is just fantastic. However, if you run out of ammo, you're screwed. If someone's got the click card, you are screwed. Sure, if you had her as an outcast leader, you could maybe equip her with a different weapon after a while, maybe a long rifle as well as, just so you've got a backup sniping weapon. I don't know. But yeah, that's just something to consider. There's something else I'm going to talk about a minute with these two, because I think that they do have their downsides, definitely. They are very strong, though. But now let's have a look at Arbalester de Cattalus. Okay, so Arbalester is also 250 credits, so the pair of them are 500 credits, and you can purchase them both together as bounty hunters if you want to. Now this guy is the close combat version, so he's not the sniper, he's the close combat one, and his stats reflect that absolutely. So we've got a movement of 5, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 6+, so polar opposite of Arbalester there. Strength and toughness 3. 3 wounds though, so he's got 1 extra wound on Arbalester. He's got an initiative of a 3 up and 3 attacks, so more attacks as well. The mental stats here are leadership 7, cool 7, willpower 6 and intelligence 6. So same mental stats as well. In terms of the baked in skills, we also have 3 skills here: Combat Master, Impetuous and Rain of Blows. Rain of Blows means that you can basically fight twice if you can. Impetuous is a skill that I often sort of overlook. I think people overlook this quite a lot. It gives you a 4-inch consolidation instead of a 2-inch one. It's pretty good if you run in, take someone out, and then you've got 4 inches to sort of get into cover or into a much better position. I think it's pretty useful, particularly on a fast killer. You then have Combat Master as well, which negates the assists that people get against you in combat. Also means that you can also assist freely in combat as well. Stuff like that. In terms of the weapons, we have a stiletto sword and a stiletto knife. That's it. Chem Synth, Displacer Field, which is fantastic. Mesh armor, photo goggles, and a respirator. In terms of the special rules here, we have unique partnership, so again you can hire them both at the same time, and we also have bodyguard. If the other fighter is within 2 inches and hit by a ranged attack, the hit and all its effects can be transferred to this fighter. And these guys' rules can be found in the Book of Peril, by the way. I should have mentioned that earlier. Now, can you see a problem with these guys? Like, they, on paper, when you look at them, you go, shit, this guy's awesome. You charge him in, he's shooting stuff. If he gets hurt, then she gets to shoot back for free. There's a lot that's very good about them. I love them. I think fluff-wise, they're fantastic. They're really, really good in the game in general. But the main problem that they have is that their reliance on toxin weapons can be a real downside. Now, why I say that is because you have, lists of Gene-Smithed Goliaths with toughness 5, for example. These guys are going to really struggle against that because, you're just not getting through it. Even with the Chem Synth, you're not getting through that high toughness most of the time. Like I said, if you run out of ammo on your needle long rifle or your needle pistol, she's basically useless. And Arbalester de Cattalus, there are more scary close combat monsters in the game than him. Granted, he's pretty scary in close combat. You only need one of those attacks to go through. You've certainly got more chance of taking somebody out with him than you have with her because you've got more attacks and thus more wound rolls and stuff. But they are fairly limited in terms of just all that toxin, I suppose. But I think if you were to take them as an outcast duo, one of them being the leader, one of them being a champion, they certainly are fun. You can build on it a little bit. You can give them extra skills. You can give them extra equipment. But I do like the fact that they're kind of limited to just toxin weapons. I think it's kind of cool. I like sort of handicapping myself a little bit with ideas and gang lists anyway. So I wouldn't go crazy and just give them loads of extra stuff and make them all powerful. I quite like having those limits and having to play within those limits. And if you come up against a really tough Goliath gang with toughness 5 across the board, you're just going to have to deal with it. Other parts of your gang maybe are going to have to deal with it. So anyway, that's food for thought on the Shadows of Cattalus. I think the main thing that I like about these guys is the potential for creating some really, really cool, good-looking models. And yeah, they're just a really interesting little duo. I'd love to see Games Workshop do some Cattalus models of some kind eventually anyway, because there are already, a couple of Cattalus characters that you've got in there, and I'd love to see the aesthetic done by Games Workshop and Citadel and Forge World and whatnot anyway. So my voice is going now, so I'm going to go and rest it. I think that's probably enough for today, because it's hard doing this with COVID. I'm out of breath already. Anyway, that's it from me. Peace out.